up, guys? Chris with T3 Media's fan sharing entertaining news, honest reviews, the latest in movies, TVs, trailers, and more by talking through the medias. I am Chris Fagan, and I am going to give you my review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Margot Robbie, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Brad Pitt, directed by Quentin Tarantino. All right. Before I get into my review, I want to let you guys know I went to a screening of this movie with some friends of mine, people that you've seen on the show before, Jason the Postman Bell and Giovanni. We went to the the Edwards Theater off of Westland here in Houston, and saw a screening of this movie, and we had a great time with it. What's your quick thoughts about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
My quick thought about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is that it's an instant classic. It's one of Tarantino's best.
So you recommend it?
Yes, highly.
All right. Who went in fresh, not knowing much about the synopsis or anything about the movie? Giovanni, what was your thoughts after seeing it?
I adore this one.
You adore it?
Especially towards the end. Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio completely sell it just as you thought they would. They're tremendous actors. And Brad Pitt, I think, is the best part of this movie. And I knew nothing about the story. And when you look at the story, it's, Quentin Tarantino put his own spin on it, which makes the film so much more interesting.
Okay, guys, and with that out of the way, I want to give you my thoughts and review of this film hopefully before you yourself go see this movie. And I do recommend that you see it. This is one of Quentin Tarantino's best. Let me do the fun part first. Let me rank this, because for a long time I had my top 5 of Quentin Tarantino films. Our Reservoir Dogs withstanding, because I have not seen that one. No, I know, right? I know, and I probably won't. I know. Calm down. But here are my top 5 as of right now. It is Kill Bill. It's my number one. I consider Volume 1 and 2 one movie. So it is Kill Bill. It is Pulp Fiction. It is Django Unchained. And now it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then Inglourious Bastards. That is now my top 5. Wherever you rank it, there's no wrong answer. Hopefully you've got more of a history with Quentin Tarantino films than I do. I know I still get grief about not seeing Reservoir Dogs, but it is what it is. Now, what did I think about this movie? Now, let me get the fun stuff out of the way. Just like Inglourious Bastards, this movie is based on a time when true events happened, some real stuff happened, and then just like in Inglourious Bastards, spoiler alert, then Quentin Tarantino puts a twist towards the end, and I won't share with you what that is. Jason the Postman Bell thought that this was mostly going to be about Charles Manson. It was mostly going to be about this character or that character, about this event or that event. This film focuses a lot, and it's very heavy on the ups and downs of Leonardo DiCaprio and dealing with him being a famous TV actor, trying out in Hollywood and kind of just declining. And he's feeling like he's letting himself down. He wants to be better. He feels like he's at the end of his rope. He has his ups and his downs, and he makes great decisions, bad career decisions, things like that. And just an actor struggling with that in this time era. And all of that was great. His friend, his stunt double, played by Brad Pitt, was just like a cowboy kind of guy who just man's man, former Marine. He has this little shaky, rocky history himself, struggles to get work, but when he's not working, he's working for Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a driver. He's a fix-it man, a gopher, things like that. And these things that he's not ashamed of at all. He admits it, and he likes what he does. He wants to be of service. He's a guy who likes to serve and likes to be of use. He doesn't want to feel like he's shutting down anytime soon. He's a man's man. So it's a strong, silent type, right? And then you have Margot Robbie, who played Sharon Tate. And if you know anything about Sharon Tate's life and death, you know that this was an interesting story that they pick. If you know nothing about Sharon Tate, it's not, I would say this, it's not wrong or right to learn the history of what happened before going in with the situation with Charles Manson and things like that. If you want to go in fresh like Giovanni did, you will probably get a shock to this when you watch this movie. If you go in and you learn and you know the history of this movie going in, you will still be shocked. A reporter asked the question of Quentin Tarantino, said, why did you not put Margot Robbie in the majority of the film? And she's a big name actress, so you're disrespecting women in this way. And I saw that disdain in Quentin Tarantino's face, and then he was very upset. I just reject your hypothesis. And after seeing this movie, I 100% understood his anger. This was an homage and an honor, a tribute, a love letter, if you will, to Sharon Tate and her family. That's what I feel. That's what I got from it. And when you watch the end of this movie, you will understand what that means and why Quentin Tarantino took such offense to what was suggested to him. And now I take more. It doesn't. The actor Margot Robbie, we're not here. This movie is not meant to serve her in her career. If she gets more out of it in her career, which she deserves, great, more power to you. Margot Robbie served the movie and served the character, and she did an outstanding job. What the undertone that Quentin Tarantino was going for, it was pitch perfect. And only when you're listening to this long story, like, okay, at some point you're like, what's going on? And when you get to that final act and it all collides and comes together, much like what they did with Inglourious Bastards, it clicks. And once you see the big reveal, the whole journey worth it. Perfect. It's almost like Hollywood is the Old West, as far as West you can really get, right? And the actors are the Cowboys, or at least Leonardo and Brad were, especially Brad. and dare I say, in their minds, hippies, or at least the Manson hippies, were I'm not gonna say what you think I'm gonna say, Cowboys, and that's a bad thing to say, but at least what in that era, what the stereotypical protagonist of a cowboy would be, the hippies were those people, and good versus evil, whichever side you're on, and the Cowboys weren't always the good guys, and they mentioned that a lot here in this as well. Whichever side you're on, but instead of the old stereotype Cowboys versus Indians, this was Cowboys versus hippies. And it was hilarious based on everything that I saw. This was an homage and a love letter to Sharon Tate, and to really honor her, and the way, and it didn't need Margot Robbie throughout the whole film to make the big impact at the end work. Having her, the amount that we got, made it that much more haunting, beautiful, and perfect, in my opinion. And I feel that this movie is an instant classic. Go check it out. The movie's coming out this week, Thursday, early release, Friday, wide release. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Margot Robbie, also starring Sharon Tate, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt. You won't be disappointed. Let me know what you guys think after you see it. Put it in the box, comment below. And until next time, guys, hey, peace.